back to Egypt. Who would have thought that this could happen, going back where all the struggle and oppression for Israel began?
Back from the promised land. We left last week with the destruction of Jerusalem and a talk for new beginnings. Israel had to show trust, faith, obedience, and build life under the ruling of Babylon. We left with hope, but things don't look so great this week.
The Babylonian king had left a small group from Judah to live and to remain in the land. And in verse 11 calls it a remnant. But also there was an imposed ruler from Babylon. Trouble. Why trouble? Because there were still some royalties left from Judah behind. Are they going to resist the temptation to restore their privileges and their power in the community when it was still not God's will for it? A tough call.
Reading through chapters 40, 41, 42, there is so much confusion, personal agendas. Gedaliah is appointed king over Israel by the Chaldeans. Johanan comes and warns Gedaliah that Ishmael wants to kill him, but he is not believed. Well, Ishmael comes and kills Gedaliah and many others. Then Johanan comes and...
Johanan, now the people's leader, comes and kills Ishmael, the assassin. And just when we feel very hopeful about the remnant's future, something good and something bad happens. The good thing is that they consult themselves with God through the prophet Jeremiah. But the bad thing is they don't follow the instructions from the prophet, but they give in to some fears. How sad.
And this is where the lesson becomes very interesting to me. It hits so close home. It's so much like us. We come to God and pledge, God, we will do anything. Anything. If it pleases us or displeases us, we will do it. But then, oh God, this is not really you. You couldn't be asking for those things. Jeremiah, no, this is not God, but it's Baruch who put you into this. He wants us to die. Same like Moses. You want to kill us in the desert. And then we trust our own judgment.
And Egypt is open, welcoming to the remnant of Jews, and why would it be not? But the new land comes with new laws and with new gods to worship. And I'm surprised how stubborn the Jews have become in their pursuit of happiness, always in the opposite direction of where God leads. They were punished by God by being exiled in Babylon for that same unfaithfulness and pagan practices. And here now, they're in Egypt, again in the center of all abomination.
They made their choice. And God asked Jeremiah to bury some stones in front of Pharaoh's house, symbolizing that the king of Babylon will come and put his throne over there. You can't just run away. We think that we are fixing our situation by choosing a safer place, but we are actually putting ourselves for disaster.
And sometimes in life we are just a step away from going the right direction. But fears and emotions determine our future. So our judgment should be made based on faith and trust in what simply God says to be our best choice.
This is what the Israelites said. Before the reform of Josiah, we were good. Yes, we were doing offerings to other gods and all these bad things according to you, Jeremiah, but we had everything, we were prospering, and we had no troubles. But since we stopped burning incense to the Queen of Heaven and pouring out drink offerings to her, we have lacked everything and have been consumed by the sword and famine. Wow. Have you ever felt this way? That things got bad when you try to be good with God? Now, this decision here is so up to us, but let's be mindful to identify our priorities and the real causes.
And when years pass by, we know what's good and bad, but we tend to cling to our practices and our habits from the past, where God always shows us a way ahead of us, not backwards. So the question for us is today, are we looking forward Or are we looking backward?
And where will we search for prosperity and safety?